Hey there, and welcome to the Longevity Lab MD podcast. I'm your host, Sam Hayes, and today I'm joined by Dr. Ari as we dive into something that's, truly essential for living a long, vibrant life, your brain.
You know that feeling when your mind just isn't firing the way it used to? Like maybe it's that annoying brain fog, or you're just feeling a little mentally off.
Yeah, I think we've all been there.
And today, we're unpacking what's really going on up there, and more importantly, how to keep your brain sharp, focused, and actually thriving for the long haul. So yeah, Dr. Ari, welcome back to the podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Right, so we're going to explore how your brain is like this dynamic, adaptable garden, capable of continuous growth and renewal, and then we'll discover how common everyday factors might be like subtle weeds dimming its brilliance.
Yeah, things we often overlook.
Exactly. And most importantly, we'll unearth the actionable ways you can actively cultivate, maybe even rewire your mind to boost cognition and truly extend your health span.
Honestly, it's a truly fascinating area because the journey to a longer, healthier life isn't just about the physical body. It's crucially about maintaining a vibrant, agile mind. Today, we try to explore recent, sometimes surprising research and then distill them into concrete, actionable tips. We're really diving deep into some of the most science-backed sources to illuminate how we can optimize our brain's potential, no matter our age.
So let's start with this idea of a healthy and functioning brain. When we say that, what are we really talking about? Is it just about avoiding memory loss, or is there more?
Much more.
Well, there's more. And how does that connect to living longer and better?
That's a great question, because it's far more than just avoiding decline. A truly healthy brain is one that's functioning optimally across the board.
Okay, like what?
We're talking sharp memory, sure, but also excellent executive functions planning, decision-making, quick cognitive speed, strong problem-solving abilities, and even things like spatial awareness, attention, language fluency.
Right.
This robust brain function is tied directly to what we call Healthspan, which is that part of your life where you're not just alive, but actually healthy, active, and fully engaged.
Got it. I hear the term neuroplasticity thrown around a lot these days. How does that concept, this brain-changing ability, fit into this picture of brain health and longevity?
I'm glad you asked this. Any talk about brain and longevity should start with an understanding of what neuroplasticity is. Well, it really is the brain's incredible superpower. Think of it as your brain's capacity to continuously remodel itself. Yeah, to change its structure and function in response to new demands, new environments, new experiences. It's why we can learn new skills, recover from injuries, adapt throughout our entire lives. This involves everything from forming new synapses, those tiny connections between neurons, like paving new pathways.
Oh, like in the garden analogy.
Exactly, in your brain's garden, to even generating entirely new neurons, which is called neurogenesis. It's the foundation of all our learning, memory, even our emotional regulation.
This is really interesting. So, our brains aren't fixed after childhood. They truly can change and adapt, even when we're adults. That kind of shatters an old myth I grew up with.
Yup, precisely. It absolutely does. While the rate of plasticity might slow a bit with age, the brain remains incredibly malleable. Continuous learning, deliberate practice, embracing novelty, all of these, even in adulthood, can actively trigger neuroplasticity, strengthening existing connections, forming new ones.
Wow.
This ongoing adaptability is absolutely critical for lifelong learning and maintaining vibrant cognitive function.
And is there a direct, measurable link between how healthy our brain is and how long we actually live? This isn't just about feeling good, right?
Definitely not just the feeling. There's a profound measurable link. One compelling study highlighted this finding was by Levy and Slade, which showed longevity increased by positive self-perceptions of aging. It was published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology in 2002. It revealed that adults who demonstrated the highest levels of mental resilience,
Resilience, meaning.
their ability to effectively cope with adversity, with stress, and have a better perception of their age, they actually cut their risk of death by a remarkable 53%.
53%, that's really huge.
It is huge. It suggests a direct, powerful connection between our mental well-being, our adaptability, and our physical lifespan. It's like your brain's ability to weather storms keeps the whole garden thriving.
To be honest, that really underscores the mind-body connection. And what about cognitive reserve? What exactly does that mean for our brain's resilience?
Cognitive reserve. It's essentially your brain's internal backup system.
A backup?
Yeah. Its ability to cope with neurological damage, whether from aging, disease like Alzheimer's, even minor injuries, and still maintain function.
Mm-hmm.
Individuals with high cognitive reserve have more neural resources, more efficient networks.
Okay.
Think of it like having multiple redundant pathways in your brain's garden. If one path gets blocked, there are plenty of other ways for signals to get through. Factors like higher education, engaging occupations, consistent intellectual and social activity, they all contribute to building this vital reserve.
Makes sense.
It's like an investment in your brain's future resilience.
Okay. I am genuinely fascinated how I can improve my cognitive reserve. I mean, I'm sure most of our listeners are also interested as well.
Sure. Okay, take yourself for example. You speak both French and English, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which already means you have a greater cognitive reserve than someone who only speaks one.
Really? That's great.
Yeah. Other things that really build up cognitive reserve include higher education and lifelong learning, doing complex mental tasks and problem solving, staying socially engaged, picking up new languages, and working in intellectually challenging jobs. All of these strengthen your brain's resilience and flexibility over time.
我也会说中文.
Oh wow, okay, I guess 3 languages then.
Okay, jokes aside, you know they always say certain exercises can improve your brain functionality and cognitive reserves? What are those exercises? I mean, I know a bunch of physical exercises, but when it comes to mental exercise, honestly, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's a really common question, and I totally get it. Physical exercise gets all the attention, but mental exercise is just as critical, especially for building cognitive reserve. So here's the deal. Your brain thrives on challenge and novelty. I always tell people, stretch your mind the same way you'd stretch a muscle. Learn something new.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a language, an instrument, even coding or photography. These kinds of activities form new neural connections.
Interesting. So it's all about challenging your mind.
Precisely.
Okay, I'd love your take on this. We always hear from longevity experts about diet, sleep, fasting, but what about our mental health and cognitive reserve? What do thought leaders like David Sinclair, Andrew Huberman, or Peter Attia say about preserving our brains as part of living longer and better?
Okay, fantastic question. And it's something that's often underrated when people chase biohacks. And I think one of the good points of our podcast is the overview we give to our listeners to let them think and not spoon-feed them only one school of thought about longevity.
Yes, couldn't agree with you more.
Okay, let's break it down from the view of these big names that you mentioned. David Sinclair talks a lot about protecting the brain as part of his information theory of aging. He sees cognitive decline as one of the major losses of biological information over time. So he focuses on things like boosting NAD+ levels, intermittent fasting, and exercise to keep neurons young. But he also reminds people, what's the point of living longer if you don't recognize your family? So brain health is central to his longevity formula.
Great point.
Andrew Huberman, being a neuroscientist, emphasizes mental health daily. He highlights neuroplasticity and stress regulation.
Mhm.
He's big on protocols for improving sleep, which is vital for cognitive reserve, daily sunlight for circadian rhythm, and practical tools like deliberate cold exposure and mindfulness to build resilience to stress. He often says, your nervous system is the gateway to all other health improvements.
Interesting.
Peter Attia takes a very performance-oriented approach. He talks about cognitive centenarian decathlon, meaning plan your life so you not only live long, but maintain high-level brain function to do the things you love until the end. He's big on sleep hygiene, deep work, managing insulin resistance, because metabolic health affects the brain, and constant learning as a form of mental exercise.
Wow, that really reframes things. I love what you said about the brain being the gateway to all other health improvements. It's easy to think of longevity as just labs, supplements, or workouts, but this brings it home. What's the point of living longer if you're not mentally present for it?
It does really reframe your perspective on longevity, doesn't it?
It does, massively.
And speaking of lab results, I've seen so many clients with pristine blood work, all the markers in range, yet they're genuinely struggling when it comes to their mental clarity, focus, or emotional well-being.
That sense of mental burnout.
Exactly. It's commoner than you can imagine. And a lot of health screening programs out there are not paying enough attention to this aspect as they should.
It also makes me think, we talk so much about physical training, but almost no one talks about cognitive training as seriously. Like, when was the last time someone said they're working on their brain endurance the same way they hit the gym or track their macros?
No, you are absolutely right. When it comes to mental exercise, I always tell people to keep learning new skills. Pick up a new language, an instrument, or even a hobby that really challenges your brain.
And these are things that are accessible to all.
Yes. I'm also a big fan of puzzles and strategy games, like chess, Sudoku, or crosswords, and even digital brain training apps.
Great.
Some
I
research
wanted to ask you
shows
more about
they can
that.
offer moderate benefits. And of course, read widely. Dive into nonfiction, explore complex topics, or tackle subjects you're not familiar with. It all keeps your mind sharp.
This is all very interesting. To be honest, I'm worried. We run out of time before I ask you all the questions I need to ask.
I know what you mean. Brain health is really important. One of the most prominent pillars of longevity, as we talked about it.
All right, so we understand the ideal. Now let's talk about those common culprits that can make our brains feel less than ideal, that dreaded brain fog. Things like chronic anxiety, unrelenting stress, poor sleep to general inactivity. How do these
Yes.
everyday conditions actually impact our brain health at like a deeper level?
Well, the brain is the master orchestrator of our stress response. It perceives threats, real or perceived, and rallies our system to cope.
Right, fight or flight response.
Exactly. But while short-term stress responses are incredibly adaptive, chronic unremitting stress is a very different beast.
How so?
It creates this prolonged imbalance in the neural circuitry responsible for cognition, decision-making, mood, even anxiety levels.
So, chronic stress isn't just a vague feeling of being overwhelmed, it's actually physically impacting the brain, kind of reshaping it. That's a stark thought.
It absolutely is. Consider brain regions like the hippocampus.
That's for the memory?
Yes, both for memory and learning, chronic stress can cause dendritic shrinkage there, even a loss of neural connections.
Shrinkage?
Yes. You see, think of dendrites, like tiny branches on a tree. Stress makes them shrivel, makes it harder for brain cells to communicate or form new memories. And in the prefrontal cortex,
Prefrontal cortex handles...
judgment, planning, impulse control. Basically, it's the executive part of our brain. Over there, the chronic stress can lead to debranching and shrinkage of dendrites as well, which is directly linked to cognitive rigidity, difficulty adapting. So basically, this constant state of constant overload where your body is always on high alert.
It just wears things down.
Exactly. It can significantly impair brain function over time, much like a constant drought makes a garden wither.
That's a powerful image. Yeah. What about sleep? I feel like my brain is running on dial-up internet after a bad night's sleep.
You're definitely not alone. Sleep, itself being a pillar of longevity, is truly critical, and it's linked to mental health far more than we think.
Like, I've noticed when I don't sleep well, I'm more anxious, less focused, and even my memory feels off. It's wild how one night of poor sleep can throw everything off balance.
Absolutely. Sleep is a highly active neurobiological process. It's essential for restoration, memory consolidation, and metabolic regulation in the brain. Studies show that during sleep, especially during REM and slow wave stages, the brain undergoes synaptic pruning, dendritic growth, and enhanced neuroplasticity. These processes are critical for learning, emotional regulation, and cognitive resilience.
Interesting.
In fact, REM sleep has been strongly linked to hippocampal function and memory formation. A 2020 Nature Communications study even showed that REM sleep specifically promotes experience-dependent synaptic pruning in the mouse cortex, which is crucial for refining neural circuits.
That's amazing stuff. I know in one of our earlier episodes, you did a deep dive into the different stages of sleep. So if anyone's curious to learn more, I definitely recommend checking that one out. But yeah, bottom line, sleep is absolutely crucial for brain health. It's something we all need to take seriously if we want to stay sharp, focused, and mentally resilient.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, let's talk about inactivity. We know exercise is good for our bodies, obviously, but how does getting active specifically impact our brains?
It's profound. I would call physical inactivity a significant yet modifiable risk factor for cognitive decline.
I assume modifiable is the key here.
Absolutely. Studies show a strong correlation between cardiovascular fitness and intelligence scores. Even low levels of daily physical activity can positively affect cognitive variables and neuroplasticity.
So, the use it or lose it idea applies.
When we talk about the benefits of movement, most people think about weight, cardiovascular health, or metabolism. But honestly, some of the most powerful effects happen in the brain.
Interesting.
Let me break down the top neurotrophic benefits of movement and why staying active might be one of the best things you can do for your brain health.
Okay, absolutely.
First, movement increases BDNF, or
Heard of it.
brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF as brain fertilizer. It helps grow new neurons, especially in the hippocampus, which is your brain's memory hub. Aerobic exercises like running, swimming, or cycling can significantly boost BDNF levels.
I see.
Second, it enhances neuroplasticity. That's your brain's ability to rewire itself, form new connections, and adapt. This is key for learning, memory, and staying sharp as we age. Third, exercise boosts growth factors like IGF-1 and VEGF. IGF-1 supports the survival of brain cells, and VEGF improves blood flow by helping form new blood vessels in the brain. Better circulation means better delivery of oxygen and nutrients.
Basically keeping those brain cells well nourished.
Fourth, it helps reduce neuroinflammation. Regular physical activity lowers harmful inflammatory markers like IL-6 and TNF-alpha, which can damage brain tissue over time. Less inflammation, better cognitive protection.
Amazing.
Fifth, movement naturally balances key neurotransmitters. It increases dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine, all of which help regulate mood, attention, and stress levels. It's why people often say exercise is nature's antidepressant.
I feel amazing usually after a quick run, so yeah, I know what you mean.
And finally, movement promotes myelination. That's the process of coating your brain's wiring so signals move faster and more efficiently. Activities that require coordination, like dance, martial arts, or even playing an instrument, can actually stimulate this process and improve brain signaling.
I feel amazing usually after a quick run, so yeah, I know what you
So
mean.
if you're looking for one daily habit to support your brain health long-term, move your body, your mind will thank you.
This is really mind-blowing because I certainly did not know that physical exercise has such a vast impact on our brain health. I always associated it with fitness and heart health, but this brain connection is next level.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. The more we learn about the brain, the more we realize it's not just about doing crosswords or Sudoku. Movement is actually neurochemical medicine, but of course, that's just one piece of the puzzle.
So what else should we be doing if we want to optimize our brain health beyond just sleep and exercise?
Great question. If I had to give a brain health blueprint, I'd say start with cognitive nutrition. And I don't just mean eating clean. I'm talking about nutrients that directly support the brain. Omega-3 fatty acids, polyphenols from berries and green tea, magnesium threonate, creatine, even choline-rich foods like eggs. These are key for memory, focus, and long-term cognitive protection.
Interesting. I never really thought about creatine for the brain. I always thought it was just for the gym bros.
You're not alone, but studies show creatine actually helps with brain energy metabolism. It can improve cognitive performance under stress or sleep deprivation. And speaking of stress, that's another area people overlook.
Right. Stress seems almost invisible until it's too much.
Exactly. Chronic stress floods your brain with cortisol, which over time can shrink your hippocampus, the memory center. So mindfulness, breath work, even taking breaks from constant stimulation, these are powerful tools. Your brain needs recovery time to process, integrate, and regenerate.
Interesting. Okay, so we've covered sleep, exercise, food, stress. What about testing? Like, how would someone actually measure their brain health?
Very good question. You see, at longevity clinics, we're not just guessing, we are measuring.
So it's all calculated then.
One way is cognitive screening. Think of it as a mental fitness check. Tools like the MoCA or DBFS, Digital Brain Functional Screen. These tests assess memory, attention, processing speed. It helps us catch early cognitive decline even before symptoms appear.
Heard of those tests?
And then there are biomarkers, the blood tests that look at inflammation, insulin sensitivity, homocysteine, vitamin D, omega-3 index, and even APOE genotype, which tells us about Alzheimer's risk. These give us a physiological snapshot of how your brain might be aging.
And I've heard you mention qEEG before. What's that
Yeah,
about?
qEEG is short for quantitative electroencephalogram. It's basically a brain map. We place sensors on your scalp to measure your brain waves, alpha, beta, delta, theta. It helps us understand your brain's baseline state. Are you overstimulated? Do you have trouble shifting into focus mode or rest mode? It's like an electrical fingerprint of your mental state.
That sounds kind of sci-fi, but also super helpful.
It's wild, but totally real. The best part is we can use that data to personalize strategies. For example, if someone's brain shows excess high beta waves, which are associated with stress or anxiety, we might recommend neurofeedback, magnesium, mindfulness, or even light therapy. The goal is not just to treat, but to optimize.
I love that. It's not just about fixing what's broken, it's about building a better brain.
Oh, exactly. And here's the takeaway. Your brain is dynamic. It changes every single day based on how you move, eat, think, and rest. So start with small, consistent actions. Learn a new skill, get your biomarkers checked. Try to sleep 15 minutes earlier tonight. Be mindful of your inputs, both nutritional and digital, because the brain you build now is the one you'll be living with decades from today.
That's so powerful. Honestly, I think every listener is going to walk away from this wanting to book a brain screening.
And that's the goal, not fear, but empowerment. The earlier you start, the more cognitive reserve you build for the future.
I must say, this was a brain-expanding conversation. I don't know about you guys, but I'm walking away with a whole new appreciation for how dynamic and trainable our brains really are. From movement to nutrition, stress management to cognitive screening, these aren't just buzzwords. They're real, actionable tools that we can start using today to build a sharper, healthier mind for the long run. So if this episode sparked something in you, share it with a friend, drop us a rating, and let us know what you're doing to level up your brain health. And thanks for tuning in to the Longevity Lab podcast, where science meets self-care. Until next time, stay curious, stay proactive, and take care of that brilliant brain of yours.